Hey everybody, this is Uncle Guts
And Aunt Gore.
coming to you from the dump. We're just your average local trash people, finding you movies or shorts that are weird, gross, and stupid, or, in the case of really good movies, all fucking three. Today we're talking about the film Zombie Nightmare, which was released in 1986 and was directed by porn director Jack Brofman, so you know this is going to be a good film. It was written by John Fasano, who worked on some other movies. One of them was Rock and Roll Nightmare and Black Roses.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those, but I've heard those ones are actually pretty good.
There might be one other one. I might be wrong.
I know those two ones.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he's the writer for Darkness Falls as well.
Oh,
which is that Tooth Fairy one that came out in the 2000s, maybe?
Yeah.
That one wasn't too bad. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was better than this pile of shit.
I don't know. This is more entertaining.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen that Tooth Fairy one. We'll have to check that out again. But we watched this. We watched this at the Hollywood Theater here in Portland, Oregon.
Yay.
We're big fans of the Hollywood Theater. They play a lot of old, shitty fucking films like this. And I'm all about old, shitty films. And the actor Frank Dietz, who plays one of the police officers in the film, like the main detective-y police officer, he was actually at the showing for this.
Yeah.
And there was a Q&A, and he had lots of really fascinating stories and little interesting things about this film, because most people know this from Mystery Science Theater. Really kind of made this into a cult film. So it was really interesting to see, like, why it fell apart. You see so many of these shitty movies, and it's just like, why is it shit? Well, this actually has a pretty good reason why it's shit. Like, the reasons why this is shit make sense. And it's a shame, because actually this could have been a fucking great movie. Instead, it's notorious as being one of the worst. So the plot of this movie is pretty simple. A guy who is portrayed by metal singer Thor with his long, flowing, luscious locks.
They point that out a lot.
Yeah, he's always with his hair. I have no hair, so I can't say shit. But, so you have this ridiculous kind of handsome guy that you hardly show anyways, because he gets hit by a car really early in the movie, because he's the zombie for the Zombie Nightmare. His mom, desperate for revenge, calls upon a voodoo lady to bring her son back from the dead and get revenge on the boys.
Well, if it wasn't just boys, it was girls too.
Oh yeah, because Tia Carrera, if I'm pronouncing her name right, from Wayne's World, the really hot Asian lady from Wayne's World, or Filipino, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But she's really hot, and
She's Asian.
and this is like one of the first things she's in too, which is interesting. But she's in it. But I mean, really, it's just the one head gang leader who's the big dick. But I mean, he hardly poses a threat because he's just this scrawny, tiny little guy. It's funny.
He spent a lot of time on his hair and makeup.
Oh yeah, his hair's like this big, man, like 80s hair to the fullest. But so the mom brings the son back to life to get revenge on these dicks, and I mean, it's about a bare bones plot as it gets. I mean, that's really all there is to this movie. So while we were at the Q&A for this movie, we learned a lot of really interesting facts about this movie. One thing you'll notice watching this, or watching the Mystery Science Theater version, is, so Thor's the guy who gets killed and turns into a zombie at the beginning. So you see his zombie and it's still got his long flowing locks. And then about halfway through the movie, you have a brand new zombie with short hair. And it's just like, oh, what the hell happened? Did he freaking go to a zombie barber? So, how did you like it? Okay. Well, that idea is actually more interesting than what actually happened. Well, actually, what happened was pretty interesting, too. So they shot the end of this film before they shot the beginning of it. So the short-haired zombie from the end is actually the actor they had hired to play this role originally, yeah. But he was this big bodybuilder, and he just ate them out of their budget. Literally ate them out of the budget.
So hungry. Nom, 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 nom. Nom, 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 nom.
So they had to get rid of him, and they fired heavy metal singer Thor. Heavy metal singer, so famous Thor. With his long flowing locks. Oh, he's just ridiculous. And actually, he was kind of entertaining to watch as an actor.
You get to see his bulge a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got a chub through this whole every scene. He's got these sweatpants on, and he's got a chub, and he's rocking the chub. It's hilarious.
They're ridiculous sweatpants too. They're like high water, like
oh yeah.
cropped.
His outfit is amazing. It's just amazing. So there's a guy in this movie who's a medical examiner, and he's quite a bit like Columbo. Well, I don't know. It must have been a big guy to snap necks like that. The reason why this guy is like Columbo, because the director actually told him to be like Columbo. This guy was a porn director. Had fucking no idea what he was doing. I mean, this guy who wasn't like a big actor asked the director, "Hey, what do you want me to do
What's
for
my
this
direction? How do you want this character to be?"
And the director said, "Be like Columbo." So he was.
The guy that was at the Q&A, he said that that's how he directed, period. Like, the only direction he could give is to reference another actor or a character from something and just be like, okay, act like that.
Yeah. And so he told this poor guy, be Columbo.
So he literally was Columbo.
There's another really notorious scene in this film, which Adam West does have a part in this film, which is amazing, because who doesn't love Adam West Batman? But there's this scene where Adam West is like the head of the police talking to Frank Dietz's character, and there's a part where he stands up and he goes, "Hey, hey, hey, hey," and then continues talking, and it's really odd. But then when Frank Dietz had explained it to all of us, that those were all takes that he had restarted. Adam West kept restarting his take, and editors would go in and then edit out those mistakes.
Because they were going to have somebody else edit it, but they needed Canadians to do specific things.
Yeah, to get
for
credit.
Tax or
yeah, because it
know.
was cheaper for them to do it in Canada.
So they just had these editors that didn't even have the script. They
They
were like, "Hey, can we have the script?"
Yeah, they actually asked for the script later on, like way later than they should have.
So they made really odd editing choices just because they had no idea what the movie was or what they were supposed to be doing.
So you end up with one of the most weird and awkward Adam West scenes ever. It's pretty intense. Zombies in this movie, well, the zombie in this movie, like most zombie movies you see, they're biting people, scratching people. This is the first zombie I've seen who exclusively hits people with a baseball bat or just snaps their neck constantly. I mean, snapping the neck is a thing he does, and every time they do it, there's hardly any gore in this film, but when there is, it's always the same. It's just vomiting blood. I mean, it's really not gory besides that. This is like a PG-13 movie that they stretched as much as they could.
Even the sex scene, they kept on their really ugly,
yeah.
big panties.
Yeah, there was a scene where one of the villain couples, they get into a hot tub together for the sexy scene. And this is a porno director. The porn director can't even get the fucking sexy scene right. They both get into the hot tub with all their underwear on. Like, just their underwear from home.
Big, baggy, like, ugly underwear.
And there's nobody else at this place. The janitor was actually closing up, but since he knew this kid, he was letting him stay later, so nobody else was there. They could have got naked and got the dirty on in that hot tub. Nobody would have been any the wiser. But fuck no, let's put all their clothes on. But why even take their clothes off? Just jump in with all your clothes on. What a shitty choice from a porno director. I don't get it. One thing that's actually kind of a shame with this film is that hearing from people who worked on it, you realize what an opportunity was missed with this. The script originally had planned to focus on race a little more, where the main character was a black man who got run over by these white gang kids, and the black guy was from the black poor side of town. So you kind of dealt with this, well, the cops aren't helping, because it's a black community. Mm-hmm. And that to me would have been a very powerful, almost like a George Romero kind of subtle subtle point on race relations. But they didn't go that route. Instead, they just made this mess of a shit fucking movie. And although I appreciated this movie and I enjoyed it, and the Mystery Science Theater 3000 is pretty funny, this is definitely a movie from the dump. That's all I gotta say. Uncle Guts and
Angkor.
And we will see you fuckers later.